Hey guys, so it's another Who to Summon video, and this time around we have two monster of heroes and a new one that is pretty much really powerful. So yeah, I can understand why you're having problems choosing which is which, but don't worry, I'm gonna help you out with that. And let's start with Molly. Molly is one of my top 10 most impactful hero 2023, but that was back in 2023. Not a lot of people have been worried about healers as much as that time. Literally, players at that time of the highest level would put their most powerful teams in F1 just to avoid Molly. But now there's so many realm heroes, so many ways to actually counteract that she hasn't become such a bad problem. But that doesn't mean that she's a bad hero. She's still creating stones. She's still a enemy realm user. And when they actually heal, yeah, that's gonna be a very destructive in that case. Still very powerful. And remember that she's still able to use the burst thing. I think it's called Surge. Surge thing that she's able to activate heroes from her own faction once, including herself, every 3 turns. So that is super powerful. I mean, it's the same ability from like Director N, and Director N is pretty much broken. And yeah, in her case, she can be broken as well. In that case, if you combine her with other heroes from her own faction, there's a lot of good combinations there for her. So yeah, and for Awakenings, I mean, the big one that actually makes the whole thing like crazy, it's pretty much her +5, of course, her +5, because in that case you'll be able to turn all the healing into 100% damage in that case. So that's what actually changed her the most. So if you're going for Molly, you're probably going to want her to have to be at +5. If you are planning to use Molly, you do have to have her at +1 minimum, just like every single other realm hero in the entire freaking game. Her +3 is awesome because it doesn't matter if the enemy heals or not. That is going to be considered the ability of the realm, which is lowering their shield. And shield by 50% is relevant for sure. Trust me, it is, especially versus teams that actually depend on shields to actually win. So that is really powerful +3 as well. But honestly, you really want to get the +5 because that damage for his healing, yeah, that's what separates her from the pack specifically, for sure. So yeah, she's still an amazing hero. I haven't stopped using her ever since she has been released. I mean, yeah, ever since she was released, I got her to +5, and I have not stopped using her, and I've always loved using her. Just make sure to make sure that you're fighting against enemies that heal, and you'll have a little bit more, well, a big probability of advantage to actually win there. Now let's go for Nightingale. Nightingale is one of my top 10 for 2024, and for a very good reason. And that reason is, besides her incredibly powerful +3, which gets at the end pretty much gives 50% attack and 50% defense to the entire freaking team, which is insane. The main reason why is, I mean, you can, she's pretty much a hero that doesn't have any realms, but doesn't need a realm, because her abilities of actually preventing stuns, counters agony, and counters Naya. And if you played this game recently, Naya is freaking everywhere. So once you get this hero at +1, just her +1, nothing very fancy, you'll be able to be immune to Naya's realm. You just have to make sure to have other heroes that create a lot of stones to recuperate from that mana suck and get to 100% mana every single time, and she's pretty much going to counter Naya in that case. And Agony, obviously, he does stuns, and your entire team is going to be prevented by stuns as long as it is a mono blue team in that case. So you don't have any blue realms, you don't have a realm all the time up, no problem. Nightingale covers you completely in that case. And if you're fighting a team versus effects like from Molly that's prevent healing, things like that, you just remove your Alia and you bring in Nightingale when you attack. It's simple as that. There is some healing, but it's not enough in that case. So you're gonna need a hero that gives a bunch of shields, like Vincent +1. Your Vincent +1 Nightingale is in such a powerful combo right now, and you can actually play blue without any realms. just because of this hero. So that is how impactful she is. She is a very impactful hero. She's made mono blue defense a real thing. Like, I'm talking about real thing. I mean, everybody's scared of blue teams because of this hero now. So yeah, very scary hero, very powerful. Resolves a huge problem, which is realms in general. But if you're going to get her, the bare minimum is her +1 by far, because that way you'll be able to be immune to stuns 100% of the time when you have a blue team in that case. So, and you do get a little bit of healing, so that helps. However, her +3 is her sweet spot, because that's where you actually will be able to get the 50% attack and 50% defense to the entire freaking team, which is freaking amazing. And if you don't have a mono blue team, no problem. You're still going to get this buff for your entire freaking team. Doesn't matter. So that's really amazing. They're very powerful stuff. Highly recommend to get her +3. And her +5 is actually icing on the cake. They die, they revive, they become immune to that from that same freaking turn. So pretty much the same ability from other heroes, but you become immortal. That's the main thing. You still stay alive there in that situation.
I never intended.
So yeah, very powerful hero for sure, guys. Do not sleep on Nightingale, that's for sure. At least a +1. And last but certainly not least, Silence. Silence has proven to be a monster of a hero. Very scary to play, especially if you combine him with other heroes that actually counter just by your team, the enemy team going off. And that is Gunoff, and that is Poseidon. Those three heroes together is disgusting, because all three of them are gonna attack the same target, and that same target with so much damage at the same time is going to rarely survive. Especially right now right now with the Seasons event, every single counter hero pretty much has 40% more damage. So yeah, that is relevant for sure, guys. However, after a few months, I don't know, after the actual realm buff, the 40% extra damage dealt by counter heroes is going to be removed in 2 months. I don't know if Silence will do enough damage. I don't know if the combo of Gunoff, Silence, and Poseidon will do enough damage. We'll have to see in a few months. Because 40% is relevant, guys. It's a really relevant amount of buff. So yeah, you have to take that into account, but it's gonna be removed soon. So that's the thing. That's the thing. For Awakenings, I mean, this guy for sure, it's gonna want to have his +5 for sure. Bare minimum is going to be the +1, because lifesteal, shields, enemy casting skill, 800 counters. Yeah, if you're going to go for Silence, definitely go for +1. But his sweet spot is going to be the +5, because you want this guy to do as much damage as possible and do as much actual damage dealt as possible. More time passes, more damage dealt, and this goes up until 80%. So the more time it goes off, more time passes, the more him and your entire team do more damage though. So that's the scary thing about this guy. But definitely you have to go for his +1 for sure. In this case, actually do a bunch of things and get his badges, at least three gold badges, 3 5-star badges, because that way you're going to get the crit chance and you can use his own weapon in that case. So that's really useful. And do remember that he does get shields now. By 50% of the damage taken is going to turn into shield, so he pretty much turns into a tank that does a bunch of damage. So yeah, he's a very powerful hero. The only problem that Silence has is that he doesn't resolve problems that you would have versus Realms, for example. He doesn't resolve those problems, and other aspects of the game that you have a lot of problems. For example, if any hero in the game that is able to counter Silence teams like Bubble, Raylan, and things like that will be amazing. But Silence is actually weak against Bubble and Raylan in that case. So if Silence fights against that and he's gonna get silenced the entire time and nobody goes off, he's not gonna be buffed. He's not gonna do a lot of damage. That's his weakness, Silence. And Silence specifically from Bubble, because everybody goes off and everybody goes to Silence. Get Silence. Ironically, Silence is weak versus Silence. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing with Silence in that case. But outside of that, Silence is a really powerful hero, very scary. And that combo with Poseidon, Gunoff, and him is very powerful. As long as you have also Nightingale and +1 at least, and Vincent and +1 at least, yeah, that's going to be a really strong team. Very scary team as well. I have heard of a team that does not have any of those heroes. It's just Silence and it does a lot of damage, but I haven't seen that, so I can't really comment on that. Now, let's talk about the 4 stars. Let's talk about Callisto real quick. Yeah, if you don't have Non, Callisto is a must-have for you. It doesn't matter what level you are, because that buff is crazy, and you need it for your yellow team to do more damage, for sure, guys. Very powerful. Callisto is a very powerful hero to have, no questions asked, especially if you have a second or a third yellow team. If your main color is yellow, second or a third yellow team, you have to have Callisto on the team, for sure. Lena, no, she just gives defense. Maybe you can use her on the attack or on defense and equip her the whip to give energy to the entire team. But outside of that, no uses for Lena at all. At all, guys. Outside, I don't recommend it. Now, Fabiola, on the other hand, she does so many things. She cleanses, she does damage, actually strong damage, because she does get extra damage from crits with her awakenings. And she creates stones. I mean, she does a bunch of things, and she actually buffs heroes of her own faction by 25% attack and defense. So yeah, for a 4-star, she does a lot of things. Very powerful hero. Most likely, if green is your main color, she is going to be on your second or third team, because you need, when you play green, you need to have cleansing because of freaking Elmis. if not, you're gonna die really quickly. So yeah, highly recommend to get Fabiola in one of your teams for sure. Carson is a really cool tank hero. I really like him on defense. If you're free to play, if you need a good tank, he's definitely an excellent choice to do that. Just make sure to not put him the whip, because if you put the whip, he's not going to go off, and he needs to go up to actually give extra protection and all that good stuff. Let's see, and Hightower. Hightower is an amazing hero. However, you can only use him in the Infinite team or a multicolor team. Do not use him in a mono green team. If not, if you do use him on a mono green team, you're gonna lose all your green stones and you're gonna get mana screwed, pretty much. So yeah, incredibly important piece for the Infinite team, and that team is really important to use in certain aspects of the game, which is yeah, PvE in general specifically. So yeah, Hightower is amazing. Don't use him on a green team. And Miriam, if you don't have better options and you're free to play, you can use Miriam for damage. Outside of that, if you have better options, don't use Miriam. But if you don't, yeah, use Miriam. She's pretty, for a 4-star, she does decent damage. Now, which one of these 3 5-star heroes will I say that is the #1 option in this case? I mean, spoiler alert, I did do a summons video for Nightingale, and it was for good reason. And she is top 10 most powerful hero 2024. One of them. One of my top 10s for sure. So for a good reason. I mean, when you have a hero that resolves a few of your biggest problems, and that is realms. When you fight in arena, in war and things like that, you're gonna have problems, and the first problem is realms, and she resolves 2 realms that you're gonna see all the time, and that's Nadia and Agony, and without using a realm. So she's always gonna be protected all the time, 24/7 versus those things. You don't have to activate her to have her realm or anything or whatever. So she is going to resolve those huge problems that you're gonna have. She's also gonna resolve the huge problem you have in making a mono blue team on defense, and also to be able to be immune to stuns for any team that you set her up on defense. So she's incredibly versatile, very powerful. She's going to resolve a lot of problems that you're having to be able to win in PvP, in wars and things like that. So in Summit, of course. So yeah, she's a very essential hero for blue players that do not have Nightingale are like missing out on so much, it's not even funny. So yeah, she's definitely the #1 option right now by far. For sure. Now my second option here between these two, I'm gonna go more for Molly in this case, because the thing is that even though Silence does so much damage and all that good stuff, Molly is a enemy realm user, and she is be able to counter healing teams in that case. And not only that, she's able to be put in a variety of defense teams, in a variety of attack teams, even if they're not mono green and things like that. And I think Silence won't be able to do that. Molly can, and she'll be able to. She creates stones that every green team needs. She creates the realms to actually eliminate shields and healing from the enemy. So she pretty much is going to be your win condition in many situations. And also finally the Surge. The Surge is able to pretty much make a few of your heroes go off twice. So that is freaking amazing, super powerful. I mean, yeah, she's a very powerful hero. Do not underestimate Molly. The biggest reason why she is a hard recommend is because you are going to want to have her at +5 to actually prevent the healing turn into damage. But besides that, she's going to eliminate the actual healing from the enemy, and also lowering the shields and all that good stuff. And her Surge, which I'm going to show you the hero right now. And pretty much most of the green teams are going to use Chloe. Making Chloe go off twice in one single turn is priceless. And also in many situations, she's going to be silenced. Her and Molly are going to be silenced. They're going to be frozen. They're going to be whatever. Or their mana is going to be sucked by Zanya, for example. That's another problem. And you have the Surge, and you'll be able to activate one of the two. So that's going to give you a good advantage to actually beating the team that is sucking your mana, freezing you, and all that good stuff. As long as that Surge is not that exact same turn, that Surge they're preventing you from actually going off like Silence. But Zanya, they'll be able to go off every single time. That's really cool. Very powerful, very versatile hero as well. It's not a coincidence that she's one of the top 10 most powerful heroes 2023, guys. Very powerful hero as well. And last but certainly not least, Silence is a very good hero, but we don't know how good he is until the 2 months have actually disappeared. And maybe in 2 months, his damage is not going to be enough and people are going to ignore him. We don't know. But we do know that right now he does a bunch of damage, but he is weak against Bubble. And Bubble is a plague of a hero, and she's pretty much everywhere. Once Bubble becomes available again as a rerun, everyone are going to try to get her to +5, and when that happens, there's going to be a lot more Bubbles in the meta, and Silence may have a lot more problems to defeat her, because yeah, he's very, very weak against Bubble, guys. It's not even funny. I'm going to talk about that in his update video, because I do have some footage about that. But yeah, he's a outside of Bubble, he's a really powerful hero as long as you combine him with Gunolf and maybe Poseidon. Most of the time, if you want to prevent Isadora 100% defense, you're gonna want to have Poseidon in the team as well. So yeah, he needs to be in a very specific team to actually perform incredibly well. That's where I'm going at. So I have heard that he can be used in other colors, but I haven't seen it, so whatever. Now for the 4 stars, my number one option here, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Fabula is the number one option for 4 stars by far. I mean, Fabula she can do pretty much everything the green needs. She can even hold the stone weapon, the 5-star stone weapon for you. So yeah, she can do a lot of things. Highly recommended to use. If you equip Lupita's weapon on her, she does really powerful damage for a 4-star. So yeah, very strong hero for sure. Now I would say from my second option here, I would say Callisto, because Callisto, you're going to use it in every single green team as long as you don't have Nan. If you don't have Arthur, you're going to use Callisto every single time, no questions asked. Don't put an energy weapon on her. Don't put the whip, because that's going to make her a lot slower. You want to make her go off first, and then all of your other heroes go off after that. So yeah, very, very important for yellow teams if they don't have the mentioned heroes there. And last is Hightower. Hightower in the Infinite team is he's an incredible addition. Highly recommended, and ironically, he is Fabulous son. So yeah, can you notice the resemblance? Yeah, that's because Cathbad is his dad. So you can, yeah, a little bit a story there, but that's really awesome. Anyhow, Infinite team, not green teams, guys, for sure. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please leave in the comments and we'll talk about it. Alright, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.